Welcome everyone to the second episode of the weekly college football pre-snap, live from outside. We're going to have the top games for you today and what I think of them. Let's start at looking at the top 5 teams as they stand. Number 1, Alabama did not budge a bit. Number 2, Oregon hopped over Ohio State, but no apparent reason Ohio State did not lose. Oregon just beat the crap out of Nichols last week, 66-3, so there was really no competition there. Ohio State dropping down to 3, as I said, as they beat Buffalo 40-20. Clemson, they actually jumped from number 9 in the nation to number 4, making that huge jump after they beat recently number 5 Georgia, who's out of the top 10 at 11 now, and number 5 Stanford gets to play their first game of the season today. So they drop a spot, but as you can tell, that's not a real big concern for Stanford. Now this week, today right now, is the day where all these teams play sans something. As number 1 Alabama has a bye week before they play Texas A&M this following weekend. Oregon plays Virginia today as they travel the longest they've ever had to really travel for an out-of-conference game in the last couple of years. Ohio State plays San Diego State. So that should probably go to Ohio State really handily, as the Aztecs are not very strong this year. Number 4, Clemson, they play South Carolina State. Not South Carolina, but South Carolina State. The Bulldogs are alright, but they're not going to give Clemson much trouble. And then number 5, Stanford begins their season against San Jose State. So a lot of teams playing a lot of weak cupcake games, but as I said before, should probably no surprise to anybody, these teams will win today. All 5 of them I do predict will win their games. And of course, the first 2 weeks of the season don't really have a lot of exciting matchups. But let me get started on the in-state matchups for you guys here in Oklahoma with me. Let's get started on the games in-state for you guys here in Oklahoma with me. OSU, who played Mississippi State last week and won that game 21-3, where the defense shut the Bulldogs out after the first quarter. They play the University of Texas San Antonio in San Antonio, where the Roadrunners, that is the Texas San Antonio mascot, will be playing on their home stage. So it might be an away game for the Cowboy fans, but that short travel from Houston to San Antonio really helps them in game preparation. They had a lot of days to prepare for the game, so expect them to come out and blow away the Roadrunners. This game won't even be close. OU, who won their season opener against Louisiana Monroe, shutting them out 35-0. They have their first conference game. Yeah, that's right, a first conference game against West Virginia today. West Virginia struggled against William & Mary, winning that game in the last 7 minutes of the fourth quarter. So, not looking so sharp. Dana Holgorsen, the coach of West Virginia, is looking to make a quarterback change possibly. They had a transfer from South Florida that's going to come in and try to spark their offense, but no one really thinks that's going to help much. Their offense looked pretty bad and their defense looked even worse. So I think OU will probably win this game by a couple touchdowns, but probably not until late will they pull away. This game is going to be played in Norman, so that always helps the Sooners. And Tulsa, coming off their blowout loss to Bowling Green, they'll play Colorado State, and I expect Colorado State to blow them out as well. If Bowling Green can do it, why not the Rams of Colorado State? They're a lot better than Bowling Green, I'll tell you that for sure. So Tulsa better bring their A game, or else they're in for another long day. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for my upset pick of this weekend. And I am going with the highlight game of the day, Michigan against Notre Dame. Michigan ranked higher than Notre Dame numbers-wise, so that means Notre Dame's supposed to be the better team at 14. Michigan sitting pretty at the 17 spot. I think Michigan will win this game. They're at home. They're in the big house. Go Blue. Michigan wins this game by a couple touchdowns. Notre Dame's Tommy Rees has been playing phenomenally. His game against Temple was not extraordinary, but he played very solid. He's a senior. He knows what he's doing. But Devin Gardner from Michigan, the dual-threat quarterback, will run all over this Notre Dame defense, whose line is very good on the defensive side. But the offensive line of Michigan, they're young, they're inexperienced, but I think they can do it. I think they can hold their own and create holes for the running quarterback. They like to run those quarterback draws. So watch out for that. I predict that Michigan will beat Notre Dame today. And that will wrap up our show. I'm sorry I've been a little late today. I've been doing a bunch of stuff, so I just got around to this. I'm glad you got to watch this, and tune in for our Week 3 next week. I'll keep you updated. And remember, keep your stick on the ice.